a mere hour away from the 250th anniversary of the Stars and Stripes. The Take Three Wrestling Podcast is back after a sabbatical of sorts. We've used all of our PTO time until I take more PTO time in about a week or two from now. So enjoy us while we're here.
It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me. At least for the last 2 weeks, anyway. Also, just mere hours away from the royal wedding. So there's all sorts of things that we're a mere hours away from. And by royal
Travis
wedding,
Kelce and Taylor Swift.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's tomorrow as well.
Jesus Christ. Why did they get married on the 4th of July?
Well, they're getting married on the 3rd of July.
Ugh. Great. My fucking 6-year-old daughter's going to share that as the same as the wedding anniversary of Swifty and Tight End U.
Right? What a magic time to be alive.
Just punch me in the throat and kick me in the shin. So Take Three Wrestling, like we said at the start, been gone for the last couple weeks, but we're back. Joe will be with us, so we'll be back in full force here in a few minutes. Crazy things have happened across the wrestling world over the last 2 weeks. We'll dive into those a little bit. We'll play a game that Joe brought to the table as El Grande Americano Jr. over here has officially joined us.
There he is. Hi, Joe.
What's up?
Somehow me right now.
Yep.
I know that's your line. Got him.
What does your T-shirt say?
Who?
Mike.
Bengals against the world.
Oh, okay. I just saw the BEN and I had worries.
What would it say?
I mean,
What am
I just saw the BEN and I had fears of what T-shirt Mike might be wearing.
Okay. Is that something you might need to text us off air?
I mean,
Mike and I don't think are picking up what you're putting down.
well, I mean, if you spelled out a name and started BEN, and it wouldn't be good.
Like, is this a place or a person?
No, he definitely said name.
It's a person.
He definitely said name. He may or may not have a Bowflex sponsorship.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah, that's on me. Yeah, okay. I didn't well, he didn't. Yeah, but we're good. We're good. He didn't
I just figured I just beat him to the point in case he actually
Okay. Yeah, no, that's on me for not realizing I wasn't picking up what you were putting down there. But yeah, okay. The fear was justified then. Got it.
Yep.
Got it.
It was a moment. I was just like, uh-oh.
Yeah. Got it.
Get that Bowflex in. Yep.
Okay. Yep.
Fancy enough. Going through my storage unit, as you guys saw, essentially the Sting Evolution figurines that they did. Those were back like the mid '90s.
Yeah, it was badass.
I'm sorry, early 2000s was when that one came out. I've taken it out of the box once, as you can tell. You can tell if you zoom in on the blue robe Sting, he's wearing the old school purple oval intercontinental title that they put out.
I gotta pull that back up. Really?
Yeah, I definitely put that title belt on it and then put it back in the.
You sure did. That's amazing.
So I found some of my old wrestling shirts from like WrestleMania past, and the first one at the top of the box may have to be washed, dried, and worn again because somebody involved in that shirt might be making a return. That shirt is SAWFT. So,
That's the rumor.
yeah. How do you feel about said rumor? Let's dive into kind of what's been going on here.
Yeah, so big Cass finishing up with or Big Bill.
Extra large William, as I called
Big
him.
Cass, Big Bill, Big Ass, Large Will, wrapping up in AEW, rumored to be on his way back to WWE, where Enzo is also reportedly headed back to for the reunion of the year. Like, here's the thing. I said it on 3CD. If we have to get these two guys back, give me the team. Because otherwise, like, I barely care about the team, but I really don't care about either of them as singles, especially Enzo. Like, Big Bill, you could probably sell me on because he's a big dude and he's gotten himself into good shape. I don't give a shit about Enzo without a partner, without him as his partner.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Unless you're putting them in NXT and then we can do a tag run there and then maybe have some single stuff while also in NXT. But like, if we ain't getting both of them together, politely pass. Joe, your opinions?
If they're both coming back, surely they'll be together, right? Like it'd be pointless otherwise.
You'd have to. Like, I don't think anybody's
at least to start.
For sure, to get them back in the mix, and then
because I mean, like honestly, their act was always so WWE coded anyway. But I feel like especially for TKO era WWE, where it's all about catchphrases and selling T-shirts, like they're gonna be major stars. You know, they're gonna show up. They're probably gonna win the tag titles from SmackDown on SummerSlam weekend, and you know you're just gonna have them from there every single week come out, do their catchphrases, maybe defend the titles once every 2 or 3 weeks, depending on how many tag teams you actually have on SmackDown. But yeah,
it's infinite more than you do on Raw right now.
I mean, yeah, no, I'm not surprised by that. But like, you have them come out, you have them say their catchphrases, you have them sell some T-shirts, and like that's it. And like it's exactly what their act is. They're not great in the ring, and Enzo barely passes as a wrestler. He's probably almost killed himself more often than he's successfully done any wrestling moves. And Big Cass is totally fine, but you know, he's probably better in this act than he is outside of it. So like you put them together, it works. It's a tag team that people pay attention to and actually get excited about, which you don't have a ton of in WWE. So bringing them back out in that regard, I'm here for. Like this isn't the tag team that comes in and you're like, oh my god, I can't wait to see them fight the Usos or
this wasn't the Motor City Machine Guns.
Right, exactly. Like you're not clamoring at the bit for dream matches with them. But are you excited that they're going to come out and do their catchphrases again? Yeah, sure. That's going to be fun, especially for the first like month or two of them doing it. That's going to be a good time. They're going to be on Saturday night's main event. They're going to be on the PLEs. Like, I'm here for it. Like, I'm not mad at it because they are so WWE coded. I'm not mad at it.
Can't wait for them to come out and their first feud be The Miz and Kit Wilson.
Oh, 100%.
Cup of haters.
Yeah. Yeah, like that first time that music hits is gonna feel really cool. Like it's gonna be a shitload of fun.
So, okay, let me ask you guys this question then. When should the return happen? Because I feel like there's two answers.
SummerSlam. Do it at SummerSlam. I thought this was a real thing, but for the record, this might have just been someone's idea on Reddit, and I'm just gonna steal it. But someone said that R-Truth and Damian Priest should have an open challenge at SummerSlam, but it should be specifically a 2016 open challenge where only tag teams from the year 2016 can answer it. And then out comes Enzo and Cass and they win the titles. Like, honestly, like if they do that, I'm here for it. Like I'm that's brilliant.
I don't hate that in the slightest. Like
I don't necessarily hate the open challenge, but I think I have a different idea.
okay.
It's MSG.
Oh.
During Taylor Swift's wedding? That's so awkward.
Ugh.
Who are you?
Yeah. Saturday night's main
Spell
event.
it out. Wait, spell it out with me. SWIFT. And you can't teach that.
You know he would introduce Travis, right?
Oh my God.
He's 6'5", and you can't teach that.
My God.
President of Tight End U, and you can't teach that.
Oh my God.
So I would say Saturday night's main event from MSG. If that music hits there, that place goes as crazy as they did whenever the Knicks won the NBA championship.
When is the next Saturday night's main event?
I'm actually.
Well, when is that
right
one?
now. I think it's the end of June. Like, not this weekend, next weekend?
Okay.
2 weekends to the 18th.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And is this the only thing that we get that's
last
basically
stop
a
before
PLE?
Summerfest?
Okay. So this is it for July.
Yeah, you already had the PLE in the end
Well,
of
no,
June.
today's July 2nd. Yeah.
No, I'm saying the end of
you have
June.
nothing
End of
in
June.
July. Right. That's interesting. No PLEs in July.
Well, it's probably because they did this one so late into June.
Yeah. And like they're definitely returning main roster, right? Like there's no chance they NXT them.
It would be dumb if they did, to be honest.
I agree. Like, yeah, that they honestly don't feel like any, like even just from a, like, they're quote unquote bigger than NXT, but like they don't feel like an NXT act at this point either. Like they feel like a main roster coded act.
Yeah, I agree with that completely.
The only way they would go back to NXT is if you're just telling me they're scrapping the tag division altogether.
That's fair. Yeah.
Because like we talked about at the beginning, they're not big enough to be single stars.
Yeah.
Plus, I feel like NXT is about to get a influx of some talent over the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Like TNA talent?
Like a Mike Santana, like an Eric Young.
Yeah.
I think you see both of them sooner rather than later. And I think Santana may end up on the main roster at some point, but he'll probably go to NXT for a little while. There's always the talk of Steve Macklin.
I know we've it's been kind of flirted around for a long time. Is TNA actually dying this time?
To be fair with you, I don't think so.
Okay.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
I think this is actually the strongest that they've been on a roster in a long time. I think you ran your course with Mike Santana. I think you ran your course with Steve Macklin. Eric Young was only getting guys over. It wasn't like you were doing anything major with him. You put the title on the most known guy still on the roster from a national perspective. That's Dolph Ziggler.
Mm-hmm.
You put the Knockouts title on a former NXT superstar in Xia Brookside. You still have the Hardys as the tag team champions.
That's fair. That's fair.
I think you look at it right now. Are there some things that probably need to be tweaked with that roster? Yeah, probably. The Knockouts division isn't as good as it has been in the past, probably, which, Tessa Blanchard obviously left to because the whole AAA CMLL thing.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, which is unfortunate on a national scale. But I'll say, I think that at this point, they were so far in the hole a year and a half ago that I think they're finally just starting to get out of it.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, no, I don't think that this is the deepest and the best roster that TNA's ever had. No. But you still have some veterans in the building. Your Nemeths, your Kazarians, your Hardys, your guys that are selling the tickets for the Leon Slaters and the Cedric Alexanders and the Mustafa Alis, to be on the main scale. I mean, you just create a whole new women's title that they're doing a tournament for right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess sometimes when there's a
mass exodus,
an exodus from that company, it raises eyebrows.
Well, it also doesn't help that there was a change in the booker with Dreamer being fired and Callahan being let go, and then you see 3 or 4 other dominoes fall that way. But look at the talent that left. Steve Macklin, former world champion, main event. Mike Santana, former world champion, main event. Tommy Dreamer guys, maybe whoever's taking over the booking committee isn't like dying to have Mike Santana and Steve Macklin in the title picture for the foreseeable future, and they're like, well, we're paying these guys like they should be in the world title match every night. Maybe let's save a couple dollars.
Well, yeah.
So, go Switzerland.
Hey, look at that. Look at them go.
We're sporting.
We are.
So, obviously, AEW had Forbidden Door, WWE and Night of Champions. Funny enough, I actually was going to name last week's show if we actually did the preview. Night of Forbidden Championship Doors.
I mean, not wrong.
It was just going to be the preview. So I thought that actually, then I forgot, and I said it to you guys, that Slammiversary and NXT's Great American Bash were the same night as Forbidden Door. So I actually probably could have named the show like Night of Great American Forbidden Championship Doors Bash.
The Slammiversary of Night of Forgiven Backdoors Smashing Client. Wait, what the hell?
Yeah. Smash them, Mega Blast them.
Smothered, covered. Now I'm just talking about my Waffle House order. Yeah, dude. These, and I get this was an extra special. Can we stop with having 18 special events on the same damn weekend? Like,
yeah,
I'm sitting here like, trying to plan a weekend. My wife's away at the end of this month. I'm like, oh, there's got to be a wrestling show on July 25th or whatever. No, because they're all next week, or they were all the first week. And I'm like, can we just what remember when we used to have like a wrestling show, one big wrestling show like every week?
Yeah, hey asshole, stop trying to counter program each other and just let wrestling fans be wrestling fans.
It's unreal. But Yeah, I did. I mean, I did watch. I heard about things that happened on Forbidden Door. I watched most of Night of Champions.
So okay, let's talk Forbidden Door then, since you didn't watch all of it, and I can rant about some things, and
Yes.
you guys can kick off of that. And I know I brought it up on 3CT tonight, so you already know where I'm going with topic number one. Screw you, circular cage.
Okay. So
Because that thing sucks.
So the circular cage is just for these big.
It'll only be at Forbidden Door.
And so it's literally just like, let me see if I understand. It's literally just a big round circular cage that sits around the ring to hold everybody in
Correct.
to the ring and ringside area.
But you can still get out and get weapons and climb it, and
Isn't that just Hell in a Cell, but circular? Hell in an oval.
But there, so you leaving the cage, you don't win the match.
nope.
And you can just freely come in and out of the cage to get weapons and things.
No.
No, it goes around the floor. It's like War Games.
Wait, where is it? It's got to be here, right? Why did I? Oh, I'm in the wrong soundboard. Stand by.
War Games.
I was in the damn huddle up one. Here we go.
War games. War games. War games.
So the weapons are already there. Like they don't have to go out and get, like, they don't have to get out of the cage to get weapons. There's already weapons under the ring and whatnot.
You know what's a really underrated gimmick match? Like while we have a moment here, I just want to give some love to a really good gimmick match. Lethal Lockdown. That was a fun one where the weapons were just like chained to the sides of the cage, and like the one super weapon was in the little top of the cage and you had to climb up to the top, and like that was always fun. I enjoyed Lethal Lockdown.
I always enjoyed Lethal Lockdown as well. Okay, so
I'm trying to find a still shot of this.
yeah, I did pull it up then. So yeah, it's just a big circle, but you can get outside the ring in the ringside area. It's just a circle, no roof, just a big round fence.
That sounds like the Cage of Death, ECW, CZW.
It is definitely one of the Cage of Death infrastructures.
I guess the thing I'm struggling with is like there's no real like stipulation connected to it, because like when you have a WWE like a steel cage match, you can win by escaping the cage. So this would just be more in line with like Heck in a Sec or WG. Like it's just a cage to be a metal structure. That's it.
It genuinely feels like the Elimination Chamber with no pods or floor.
So when I saw the picture, I thought the Elimination Chamber, like that, like it looked. I was like, so they just recreated the original chamber, not realizing that there's no, like, you can still get down to the floor. Like it doesn't have those platforms around the ring. I just like, I'll let you rant, because like for me, I'm just like I'm trying to work through my thoughts on it, because to me when they do these like big multi-man matches, like the the Stadium Stampede, the Asylum in the Rylum, and
B&Gs.
the Penis in Uranus. Like,
Oh, okay.
like when they do those matches, they're like, to me, they're like borderline must see programming, because
Correct.
they're so out of control that they're just they're just so much fun. This, I feel like, takes the fun out of the multi-man match or limits the fun. Does that make sense?
It does. I get what you're saying. Because it feels like they're contained.
Yeah.
And that's not anything that AEW's ever done a good job at. It's
Right.
containment.
No.
It's always been a fucking, here's the car crash. Let's watch the car crash unfold. Better yet, let's turn it up to 11 and put it on the final jackass and have Darby Allin launched off of a fucking elevated tow truck in a fucking taxi cab. This oval from Pinoval cage that they have, it's like, cool, nobody can get out, nobody can get in. Or you can just have somebody like Kevin Knight climb up the motherfucker and you can get in.
Right.
You know, so like that's that whole thing is just it's frustrating because here's the deal. The whole stipulation behind that match was Mark Briscoe's team wins, he gets a shot Wednesday on Dynamite. Cool story, awesome, they win. The coolest part wasn't even about anybody that was involved in the match. That includes the Andrade turning and leaving the Don Callis family. The coolest thing was whenever Leo Rush somehow ended up in a book bag.
Okay.
And got pulled out from underneath the ring and like caused something to happen. Like at the end of the day, that is the coolest part of that entire match. Not the finish, not Mark Briscoe fighting for the AEW World Title, not Darby Allin blowing something up and Kevin Knight falling off the circular Running Man track. No, it's Leo Rush who's playing this creepy fucking gimmick, getting pulled out of a book bag, basically. Huh? That's dumb. And then I'll say that was the only real head scratcher that I had on the show, and somehow it's been rated 8.89 out of 10 on Gauge Match, so it feels really fucking weird.
I mean, I just feel like we're in an era right now where, because a couple of years ago it was the opposite, where like anything WWE did got a high rating on there. Everything AEW did got like started at like a C at best. And I feel like we're just in that in the reverse. Because you know, the cool thing is to hate WWE right now. And the cool thing is to love AEW. And I'm just like, yeah, maybe they both do things that are good and bad. Like I said, I didn't watch the show. To me, the more confusing thing is, besides the big circle of doom, is what happened last night on Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
With the Kenny Omegas, and he's doing the thing where it's he faces MJF next week, right, on the Dynamite thing.
Beach Blast,
Beach Bash, Beach Brawl, and if Kenny Omega doesn't win, he can never fight for the title again. I get pro wrestling is pro wrestling, and like any stipulation can change for any reason. We're making things up as we go, yada yada yada. But the thing I've always been told about AEW, and this is not Jim being a WWE truther or whatever people on the internet want to call them. This is like by AEW's own admission. They're different. They are more sports based. They are more reality based. They are more real. They're where the best wrestle. Where this is where wrestling is taken seriously, et cetera, so on. So in the WWE, if there's a stipulation, I'm going to retire. Okay, again, WrestleMania 7, Warrior retires Macho Man. The next year, Macho Man wins the title. Ultimate Warrior returns at WrestleMania 8. They've told us from the beginning, anything can happen in the World Wrestling Federation. AEW is different. So Cody Rhodes loses the match, can't fight for the title anymore, never does, he leaves. Just this year, they've done Hangman with that stipulation. And now we're running it back. And I get, like, it's a thing people do against MJF, because that's what somebody on Twitter told me when I was being sarcastic and was like, are we allowed to call them creatively bankrupt? Because that's what happens when WWE repeats a storyline. Is they're creatively bankrupt and boring and repetitive and all of that. My real point to the tweet was that wrestling fans look ridiculous when they just call WWE that. But somebody was like, no, it's a story, and this is what people do against MJF. I'm like, well, eventually you're going to run out of challengers, bud.
Yeah.
Like, and here's the problem with that. It's not like when Drew is like, if I don't beat Cody, I'll never get to fight for the title again as long as Cody's champion. This is like a definitive.
Yeah, never.
So, like, the more you do this, the less challengers you're going to have for your world title. In a reality-based, a sports-based world, dumb. Like, that would be like Jerry Jones being like, if the Dallas Cowboys don't win the Super Bowl this year, we can never play for the Super Bowl again. Well, what happens if you go 17-0 next year, Jerry? What happens if you you go to the NFC title game and you're beating the 49ers in the fourth quarter? Well, I guess we have to forfeit because we lost. We didn't win the Super Bowl last year. What? Like, you've taken the purpose away, and I understand there's 19 other titles, but the bet AEW's told you the best prize in professional wrestling is the AEW World Title. Why would, like? And I get it. Oh, you're that confident. Like, I don't know. I just, the forever storyline, because if you're going to be the company that's different, you have to hold to these. I get Kenny Omega's old. Like this would probably be his last real, like, go for the world title anyhow.
Unless you're telling me that somebody's contract is up and they are leaving, forever is stupid. You've now taken arguably the biggest babyface in your company's history. The one guy that every person got behind going into Y'all In and was the face of your company, and he can never wrestle for the world title again. You're now doing it with a guy who you told us, and you've put the title on before, that is and he said this in his promo, the wrestling god, the best bout machine, the best pro wrestler to ever lace boots, the cleaner. And you're going to tell me that Kenny Omega is going to lose on a random Wednesday night in Clearwater Beach, Florida, and is never going to wrestle again for the AEW World Title? Or you're telling me Kenny Omega is going to win the title on a random Wednesday night in Clearwater Beach, Florida, and you're going to give me Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega at All In Wembley with less than 4 weeks of build. Bruv, what the fuck are we doing? There is no way on God's greener that the biggest show in AEW history should not be main evented by MJF versus Will Ospreay. $0. And I read something on Reddit. I pulled a Joe and I went on the Reddit. Somebody says, well, you have Will beat MJF, and then you have Swerve beat Will, and then heel Hangman comes back and tries to take the title from Swerve.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So you're telling me that Adam Hangman Page isn't going to be around for 2 years? Because last time I checked, with the exception of the Darby Allin title reign, we don't do really short-term title reigns here in All Elite Wrestling. You're going to put the title on Will Ospreay. He's got some shit he's got to handle. Kazuchika Okada, Kyle Fletcher, guys like Andrade who are going to be involved in a title picture. He's probably going to have to beat Swerve at least once to make it make sense. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. The Death Riders. Like, I know he's part of the Death Riders now. But, like, you don't think that he's not going to defend the title against his training partners at some point? You don't think Mox is going to get involved in some point in a world title world with Will Ospreay as the champion? And those are just the guys that we've talked about that you don't have to build things up with. That you don't have to sit here and go, oh, look, he could have a match against Darby Allin, or he could have a match against Orange Cassidy, or Kyle O'Reilly, or whoever the fuck else. Oh, he could fight Callum Newman, his former United Empire stablemate. Mark Davis, part of the fucking Don Callis Association of Tax Evasion. Former United Empire member, one of his former best friends that turned on him the same way Kyle Fletcher did. I'm sorry. If you're telling me that Adam Hangman Page is gone for the next 2 years, let him go.
Right.
Because this is I'm supposed to believe that he ain't going to be around for that long? Or you telling me he's coming back in Clearwater and he's going to take out Swerve and we're going to get that story ran back again? Because if we're getting that again, cool. But then that's the exact same thing that Jim has just said on social media. It's getting fucking redundant of doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I like some of the things that they're doing. I like the idea of Swerve and Hangman again. I love the idea of Will Ospreay fighting for the world title at Wembley. I hate the fucking stipulation of he can never fight for the world title again.
Yeah.
It's becoming so frustrating at points. I watched Dynamite last night, and I watched about 20 minutes of Collision tonight because it was on tonight because of, I believe, because of the World Cup this weekend.
Okay.
Or no, I'm sorry, the All-Star. Something with the All-Star game, maybe? I don't know. I don't know what the fuck TNT has on this weekend.
No.
I haven't looked. But coming out of this, going into Beach Blast, like, I don't have the slightest idea of, aside from Will Ospreay versus whomever the world champion is, and the Toxic Spider Tekla versus Mercedes Moné for the AEW Women's Championship, which, by the way, Doesn't make any fucking sense, heel versus heel, but whatever. Do you, Tony? Do you? I don't know that there's anything really that's lined up for All In.
No, not really.
And what weekend is that? It's not the same weekend as SummerSlam, right?
No, it's August 30th, Sunday, August.
Okay, so they have a little bit more time than I thought. Okay.
Yeah, it's Tekla, Mercedes Monet, MJF.
So wait, pull up the not Forbidden Door. What's the event before that?
Jubilee or nothing.
Yeah, pull up that card.
By the way, there is a show in between Forbidden Door and All In, which is Redemption from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, which will see Tekla defend the title against the winner of the Casino Gauntlet.
This also pissed me. Why are they doing Sunday night pay-per-views again? Because if they were doing Saturday night pay-per-views, that would be the weekend my wife's gone.
Oh my gosh.
I could just watch it then. Anyway, that's a me problem, not an AEW problem.
So yes, the Toxic Tekla Spider Lady versus the winner of the Casino Gauntlet match will take place.
So I was thinking, if you pull up Double or Nothing's card and you go through all the talent on the card, how many of those people are likely to be on All In?
Well, let's skip Cage and Cope versus FTR. You would hope that Stoop and Ledge are going to be on there because they're
definitely Ledge and Stoop. Maybe FTR in some way, shape, or form.
Takeshita Okada.
Both.
Athena, Mina Shirakawa.
Neither.
Moxley and O'Reilly.
Probably Moxley because he's the Continental Champion, but probably not Kyle O'Reilly.
Ospreay, Samoa Joe.
Half because Joe's out.
And Ospreay's taking on MJF.
Yep.
Or the world champion. Swerve Bandito.
Probably just Swerve.
Tekla versus Sheeta, Hayter, Statlander.
I'd say half of that match. Sheeta won the TBS title, so there's a shot you might defend that on the show.
You probably should if it's one of if not your biggest show of the year. By the way, Sheeta is 38.
Yeah.
Would not have guessed that, by the way.
Nope, 12.
Then we got Jericho, the Hurt Syndicate, the Elite. So it's Jericho, Lashley, Benjamin, Omega, Jungle Jack, and the Young Bucks. Some of those, Kenny, probably.
Kenny, the Bucks, and probably Generic Jack.
Jericho's probably going to be on the card, you would think, especially if he just re-signed. They'll pigeonhole him somewhere.
They'll put him in a multi-man match for a title.
Yeah. They took on Ricochet.
Actually, you know what he can fight in? Suitcase on a pole where you can cash in for a title shot at any time that you want.
There you go. I love it.
No bonds in a brick.
Oh.
Then you had Ricochet, Bishop Khan, Toa Leona, Mark Davis, Andrade, and the Dogs.
On the main show, probably Andrade. Everybody else on that team.
Yeah, I'm out on most of them. And then MJF Darby in the main event.
Both of them.
Yeah, they'll both be on. So
because I think you get Kevin Knight versus Darby Allin for the TNT title.
Yeah. So half card.
So there's all these names that you're pretty confident will be on it. The question is simply, what the fuck are any of them going to be doing? Is that where we're at?
Basically.
Okay. Because I haven't watched any AEW other than the one pay-per-view back in like February. So I couldn't begin to even give you a remote guess as to what is going on and who is going on. As someone who's not watched the shows at all the Kenny Omega MJF stuff that I heard about you guys talking about here, all that said to me was, "Oh, cool, Kenny Omega is gonna fight Will Ospreay at All In." Like that's what I got out of that. It sounded like they were just trying to set up a big as big a wrestling match as you can have. Because let's face it, right? Like I've always said, and I will always stand by, Tony Khan's style of booking is ECW 1996. Like, that's it. He's just booking ECW 1996 on a perpetual loop. I think Paul Heyman said it in an interview. It's like there's an entire generation of wrestlers and bookers that are just doing Rob Van Dam versus Jerry Lynn over and over again. And it's fine. Like it
Right.
works. It is how we get things like Pro Wrestling Guerrilla and AEW. And like it's a style of wrestling that, you know, a lot of us are fans of. So that's cool. If that's what they're doing and they want to give us the best potential version of that in the main event at All In, it's Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega. And there's no two questions about that. I don't care who's the heel. I don't care who's the face. At the end of the day, it's going to end with Will Ospreay winning the world title in his homeland anyway, or ish.
I
Is he?
will.
Is he?
I
Is he from
will.
London?
He's from England. He's from, I believe, he's from
Okay.
Sussex. But I will tell you, and as someone who is as big of a Kenny Omega fan as I am, you're flat out wrong. This isn't 29-year-old, 35-year-old Kenny Omega. This is 41-year-old Kenny Omega. MJF
Right.
is the best thing you have in that talent pool right now to fight Will Ospreay.
Yeah, but no, but here's my thing though, like because of the age factor with Kenny and because of the fact that he probably is closer to the end of his career than he is to the beginning, I could see this being exactly that. Like you give him this little short title reign. It lasts what, all a couple of weeks or whatever. There's not a lot of pressure on him to do much during it. He doesn't have to Darby Allin it and defend it every week, you know. But like it gives him one more title reign before all things are said and done, and it puts him into a match where he literally gets to pass the torch to Will Ospreay. He literally gets to say, "Hey, I know I was the one of the ones that started this, but here we are 7 years down the line. This is yours now. And you know, you're one of the pillars now. You're one of the main guys." Like that I see that as being the story that they're going for. Cuz let's face it, Will Ospreay versus MJF is going to be a match that you can run as a main event on an AEW show anytime for probably the next 5 years. I don't think either one of these guys is leaving AEW. I don't think either one of them is necessarily going to WWE. I don't think either one of them is necessarily, you know, disappearing from pro wrestling. They're both young, they're both great. And honestly, I don't even know that we've seen the best out of either one of them yet, which is a crazy thing to say because they've both been so incredible. So like these guys can be the guys. This is your Seth Roman. You know, you can run this back as many times as you want over the next 5 years. It's never going to be a time where you're not going to be able to do this as long as one of them isn't hurt, you know. There is a time limit. There's a time limit on Kenny Omega getting to pass the torch.
Let's not forget, we're talking about health. One of them's already had a broken neck.
Yeah, but it's pro wrestling. A broken neck is like a stub toe. Like Kurt Angle had 8 of them.
Everybody has a broken.
Right, exactly. Like, come on.
Yeah, hold on. Somebody else has a broken neck and will never wrestle again. His name was Big E.
Truth.
I mean,
All his was a broken neck. I mean, the fact of the matter is this. You can have Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay at All Out. You can have it at Wrestle Dream. You can have it at fucking World's End. you're telling me right now the best act in AEW, who is the world champion as of today, is going to lose it in a meaningless match in Clearwater, Florida, to Kenny Omega, so that Kenny Omega can pass the torch to Will Ospreay. Pass. That's a Triple H coming back right now, booking himself in to win the title from Roman Reigns, to lose it to Braun Breaker a month later. We would say that's the dumbest fucking thing we've ever heard in our lives. That's what this feels like.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily go that far. Because I do think the merit of Ospreay getting that moment in London is bigger than him winning it at Wrestle Dream, wherever Wrestle Dream is. That always in Washington, or is that a moving show?
I think it moves. I don't fucking know.
Wherever Wrestle Dream is. So I wouldn't quite put it on like the lowest level.
I was saying the him versus Omega match, not him winning the world title.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I like the idea of the anything can happen title change, because I do think that to like a big show AEW all-in audience, and for what Ospreay is, I do feel like the bigger opponent for Will Ospreay is Kenny Omega, because he is kind of like the next one. Like, it would have been like if we could have gotten the Bret Hart Kurt Angle dream match, if we could have gotten the Shawn Michaels AJ Styles dream match. Like, AJ just said on a podcast in like the last 2 weeks that like he still wishes he could have gotten the Shawn Michaels match. Like, you have an opportunity to do that match in London. Is it worth the cost of beating MJF for the title on AEW Dynamite Sand Dune Beach Brawl on a Wednesday night in July? That's what it boils down to. And in some aspects, I think AEW having these big event TV shows, sometimes you need to do the big shocking moment on those shows. I don't know if you get it, but herein lies the problem with doing these snap booking and weird stipulation things. Tie it back to the original issue. You have a pay-per-view in July.
Correct.
A new pay-per-view in a city you've never done a pay-per-view in.
Hold on. One better. In the home country of Kenny Omega.
Right, like I get there's a big difference between Winnipeg and Quebec, but it's still Canadian. Like, why is Kenny Omega not doing the big stipulation match in Canada on a pay-per-view? Like, why is that happening on the beaches of Clearwater?
Well, there you go. It's the legitimate. It's the what's the word? I'm not even be able to say this. There we go. Thank you very much. It's to legitimize the title reign, because it's not he wins it at that pay-per-view and loses it at the next pay-per-view. It's he wins it on TV, gets a title defense on the pay-per-view in his hometown, so everybody's all happy when he beats whoever. Maybe he defends it against MJF. Maybe it's Swerve or somebody. I don't know. But he gets somebody, he gets a win, audience is happy, it's the hometown hero, yada yada yada. And it's not just the potential Sami Zayn title reign where it lasts a week. You know what I mean? Like
That's
it's gonna be something a little bit more substantial than that. Like I'm not mad at the idea of giving Kenny Omega a hey, this might be your last one title reign of like a month or two.
I don't have a problem with it if it happened a month ago when Darby Allin had a title reign that didn't mean anything. You're now telling me that MJF's had his long ass title reign basically broken up into 3 different corridors because we had to put the title on Darby for shock value, and we have to put the title on Kenny because it should be his final run, just for whoever it is to eventually lose to Will Ospreay. Your hottest, like I said, your hottest act, your best act. I mean, we're going to talk about it here shortly. The best act going right now in WWE is Oba Femi. We're shitting on them for taking him out of the title picture to put him in Heck in a Sec with Brock Lesnar. You're going to take your hottest thing right now in your company, in MJF. You're going to take the title off of him. You're going to put him in some meaningless fucking match somewhere on the show so that we can get the fucking Dave Meltzer dream match in the middle of Wembley Stadium 5 years past Kenny Omega's prime. For a passing of the torch moment that could happen anywhere else. That's my issue. And if you're Maxwell Jacob Friedman, how the hell do you sit there and you let fucking Tony Khan tell you that this is what's best for the company? If there's one person that should be pissed off if this happens the way that we're talking about it right now, it should be Max. Because if there's anybody in the last 365 days that has done more for All Elite Wrestling than MJF, I don't know who the fuck it is.
That's fair.
So that's where I leave the MJF talk. Personally, what I would do is I would have Swerve come out, disqualification, you save Kenny so he can challenge for the title again at some point, and then just be done with it. You save yourself from the stipulation. Hold on. You save yourself from the stipulation. You set up maybe Kenny versus Swerve at a pay-per-view, whether it's Redemption, whether that's the Kenny Omega match at All In, whatever it is. But that's just my.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, the problem AEW has done to itself is, great problem to have. You have almost too many biggest stars in the company, and now again you've worked yourself into a corner with the Kenny Omega thing. And part of their problem too is like their pay-per-views are like must-see events, but they're also trying to make their TV and these TV specials must-see events. So they're trying to do it. Everybody says WWE does too many pay-per-views or whatever. AEW almost does too many special events or big events. Like,
wait, I'm sorry. No, go ahead, continue. But
yeah,
I have something after you're done.
Yeah, it's the problem of like too many things in rapid succession because you just had a pay-per-view. Now you have a big Wednesday night show. In a couple weeks, I think that aren't they doing a thing at like a baseball stadium? And then like in a couple weeks, you have another pay-per-view, and then it's your biggest fucking show of the year with the Wembley show. Like they have the same problem WWE does, and I don't want to hear that. Well, every show you have to watch every show in AEW because I don't have to do that. I don't have to see and deal with any of that. Like it is what it is. Yes, Joe.
Okay. I was thinking about it for a second. What if this goes in a completely different and unexpected direction? What if Kenny Omega just loses? Can't challenge for the world title again. And now follow me here.
Who else can't challenge for the world title again?
Cody Rhodes.
Who else that's not working in WWE can't
Hangman.
challenge for the world title again?
The Hangman
Right.
Page.
Right.
Hangman.
Who was Kenny Omega's tag team partner for a really long time and former tag team champions with him?
The Hangman.
I mean, hell, you book this the right way. You give me Kenny Omega and Hangman Page versus Edge and Christian for the tag titles at All In.
I think they're going to be a little bit busier at All In, potentially with somebody's new era.
Oh, okay.
But I don't hate it, for the record.
Yeah, I don't hate that either. But yeah, I think if you get a couple of dudes coming in from a different territory, could be a big deal.
I will also say on the Adam Hangman Page Kenny Omega, if this leads to something where the two of them go dark and join someone and force Tony Khan to let them inevitably fight for the title again, I will be okay with that as well.
Like they find a way to force Tony's hand to reduce the
Correct.
Okay.
A loophole, they win the Owen, whatever it is. They hold somebody hostage.
Winning the Owen is an interesting one. Because Hangman's out for right now. Because I was going to say, like, has anybody who's
No, that's a stipulation.
Yeah, like that could be an interesting twist. Unfortunately, we just had the Owen, so it will be a year until we find that out.
Which actually may not be a bad thing, because if you're inevitably contemplating Adam Hangman Page versus Swerve again, that would be about the time to do it, because if Will keeps the title for 5 to 6 months, you leave it on Swerve for a while, that leads right into the Owen again next year.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, you mentioned it a little bit. We want to talk a little Oba Femis.
Let's do it.
In what regard?
Make it make sense, I guess.
Right. So the stipulation this year, King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring, winner
last year as well.
And last year as well. Winner gets title shot at SummerSlam. Oba wins King of the Ring and immediately turns around and is like, I'll get to a title shot at some point in my career. F this stipulation. Give me Brock Lesnar in a Hell in a Cell. I don't know if he asked for Hell in a Cell or if Pierce just.
So Brock came out, jumped Oba when he was about to make his decision. That's when Oba was like, I can fight for a title whenever I want. Give me Brock in Hell in a Cell.
Okay.
It wasn't like he looked at the crowd and was like, yeet.
Got it. At least there was a catalyst to why he wanted to
He literally was like, so it's time for me to make my decision. I choose. Got it. Then that led to the rest of it.
Got it. So ultimately, my issue here isn't that we're getting Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar number 3. Because honestly, getting that match at this point, because rumor and innuendo tells us that Brock Lesnar is working his way out, right? So when's there going to be a better time to do it? When you're just a few months removed from what we thought was his retirement? Or do we wait till Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania next year, and so on and so on? Like, do you really want Brock Lesnar's retirement to be in Saudi Arabia at WrestleMania Sand Cruiser? No, you don't. So then it's like, is it Royal Rumble? Where's the next year? The Royal Rumbles where?
Is it in Indianapolis? Oh no, never mind.
Yeah, I don't
know. Supposedly supposedly the rumor is Miami, but it hasn't been confirmed yet.
Okay, so we don't know where that is yet. We don't know where Survivor Series is yet. But we know that,
Minnesota is his home.
right, like we know that SummerSlam, the second biggest 2-night event of the year, is in his home. So when else are you going to do a match against a guy who clearly Brock loves working with? I haven't seen Brock Lesnar look like this interested in showing up for work in a while. So, yes, you're going to do the match here. I'm fine with them doing that match here. But there's 2 nights of SummerSlam. Like, you're telling me that 26-year-old Oba Femi can't pull a double duty shift on a weekend? Like, Seth Rollins was like a dead in the water, had half a leg left, and wrestled Bloodline Rules, and then wrestled Drew McIntyre the next night. And Seth is how old? How much more beat up? Was in horrible condition at that point. And
they're just afraid to put the rocket ship on Oba.
That's what it is.
And granted, it would be a next level type of rocket ship. It would be a Goldberg rocket ship. It would be, you have him with these 2 big wins back to back. Like
Goldberg.
Like, it's crazy. Don't get me wrong. But isn't crazy how you make a huge star?
Yes.
And doesn't WWE need that right now?
Yeah.
How we get to the WWE is scared to put the rocket ship on him?
Because I think they kind of are. Like, don't get me wrong. He is rocket shipped. He's like on like a mini rocket right now. Like one of these guys, ooh, look at that.
Yeah.
But you have such a unique opportunity, because when you really like flip the switch into a Roman Reigns character that we wanted to see, he had already been long, like, quote unquote, forced down our throats. Cody Rhodes, we got the big moment with him at WrestleMania 40, one of the best moments in sports entertainment history. He's on the wrong side of 30 at that point. Oba Femi's 25. You don't always get 25-year-olds who are 1,000% ready to put a company on his back and carry it for a while. Like, because WWE for a while is living off of like established wrestlers who come in later in their career. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, AJ Styles, so on and so forth. Like, look at the long career of John Cena. Yes, I know, like, look, Roman Reigns, long career. John Cena. Like,
no, I feel like there's an argument that like 2016 to 2023 or so as an era is like the prime era. And that has nothing to do with Logan Paul's drink. It's everything to do with all of the main stars that you had in the company at that point were pretty much in their prime. Because you had all these seasoned guys who were out on the indies for 10 years before that point. And you had all the guys that WWE had built up internally. Your John Cena's, your Randy Orton's, those guys who were in their primes at this point as well. And just everyone converging to just give us some of the best wrestling that WWE's ever had inside the ring, at the very least, during that time, yeah, I don't know, like, I guess part of what I'm stuck on too, and call me crazy, right? But why have Oba Femi even win the King of the Ring if he was just gonna throw away the title shot opportunity? Like, where does that make sense? It's like when Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble and then was gonna give up his title shot so The Rock could wrestle Roman. Like it didn't make sense then, and whether or not that was all a story or not depends on who you believe. But like it didn't make sense then. So like why does it make sense now? Like why are we supposed to feel like Obe is doing something noble by giving up a title shot so that he can go after Brock Lesnar? Like why do we even put ourselves in this position? Is kind of my question.
Because could you imagine if they didn't put him in the King of the Ring? The conversation you're having right now about not trusting him would be magnified times 700. The guy is 12-1 since coming up to the main roster. His one loss is the guy who he wants to end at SummerSlam. I'm sorry. I'm on the exact opposite scale of they're scared of him. This is the start of the rocket ship exploding from the engine. We are going all the way live because the biggest match that WWE can put in front of you will happen in April in Saudi Arabia. It'll be Roman Reigns versus Oba Femi for the World Heavyweight Championship. That's the match. How do you get there? He retires Brock. He doesn't lose. He wins the Royal Rumble. He gets Roman Reigns. They believe in him more than anybody thinks they do. But you can't book him into certain things because then it'll be, why hasn't he won the title yet? Why doesn't he have this? Oh, is it because he's not Roman Reigns or he's not Cody Rhodes or he's not whoever? At the end of the day, you have to do this the smart way. I said it months ago on this show. I wouldn't have put him in the world title match at SummerSlam because at this point, if you put him in a world title match at SummerSlam and he doesn't win, it'll do more damage than it would good.
So I agree with that. Like if he wins King of the Ring, goes to SummerSlam, he has to win at SummerSlam.
Correct.
Period.
And my question is, who would he have wrestled? Because Oba Femi versus Sami Zayn does nothing for me.
But here's the thing. Do you want my answer or do you want the real answer? Because they're different things.
What you want is Roman Reigns. The real answer is Sami Zayn.
Correct.
Pass.
Yeah, right. Like
I'll take the bigger moment of him possibly retiring Brock Lesnar for good.
Oh.
Than him a throwaway title from Sami Zayn in 4 minutes.
So my issue with how this was done, because I agree that if you just do this the King of the Ring tournament and Oba isn't in it, the crowd, Twitter audience, podcasters with an opinion, like that reaction is you're crucified for it. What I would have done is from the jump, Pierce wants to put Oba Femi in this tournament. Oba Femi's the one that says, I don't want.
I need my redemption for losing to Brock Lesnar.
Right, like I don't want to be like. Don't wait until Brock attacks you and then give up something you've earned. You get out ahead of it. I thought I put this dude in the ground. He comes back, gets one over on me. I want to bury him for good once and for all. Give him to me at SummerSlam. I'm not. I will get a title shot down the road because I'll earn it later. Give me Brock now. Then you get the match you want at SummerSlam, and you don't have to worry about what if we beat Oba in the tournament or what if he wins, then what? You don't have to worry about any of that. You get out ahead of it.
So we're going to play a trivia game real quick. Not counting the match that's going to take place at the Summerfest. Not counting the Royal Rumble. How long is Oba Femi's longest match on the main roster?
4 minutes and 39 seconds.
I'll say probably about 8 minutes and 12 seconds.
His longest match was the fatal four-way first-round matchup between him, Carmelo, Penta, and Solo that went 8 minutes and 58 seconds. His longest singles match is 7 minutes and 56 seconds. The finals of the King of the Ring. Maybe we need to make sure that this kid can go for longer than 12 minutes before we strap a title to him.
Yeah.
Maybe we decided to call an audible because maybe the gas tank isn't all the way live yet. Maybe we should be smarter about this. I never loved him in the King of the Ring to begin with.
Right. That's where they went wrong, being honest.
That was dumb. That was dumb off rip. Because you could have literally given me a Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins finals, had the finals in the cage match be the blow off of that feud, and Seth would have then made sense for why he came out and been like, "Oh, brother, let's fight one more time." And then the other situation that happens that we'll get to on for Night of Champions in a second, that could possibly change itself real quickly. I don't know that there's a world that like if Cody Rhodes was to win the title back, Cody Rhodes versus Obafemi doesn't do it for me.
Hmm.
The world title match that Obafemi needs to be involved with is Roman Reigns. There's too much going on in the Roman vision and the Roman world right now with Jacob Fatu stuff and the Usos and all of that stuff. When that match happens, that match has to be Roman Reigns v. Obafemi. Not Roman Reigns versus Obafemi with all the other shit that he's got to deal with internally. Like, I need that to be the two of those guys on a crash course to Riyadh. Like, that's just my personal thing in it. Because at this point, that's the biggest match that the WWE can put on since WrestleMania 40. Your big dog, your best piece, the defensive captain of your roster taking on the next best middle linebacker in football. That's just how I look at it. But at the end of the day, him being in the King of the Ring was the problem to begin with. They booked themselves into a corner because at that point, if you were going to do that, let him lose in the first round. Let Brock come out and just jump him there.
Right.
If you want to put him in the tournament. Because if you don't put him in the tournament, all we're going to hear is he's never going to get out of the mid card. He's always going to be the fun guy who's just going to destroy people, and Triple H doesn't take him serious. XYZ. I don't know. I love the fact that we're getting this match. If this is the final match of Brock Lesnar's career.
That too.
Letting Oba be the guy. Hell, you talk about Brock Lesnar. What did Brock Lesnar do? He took a singular victory and made it a catchphrase for the next 15 years.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If Obafemi is the one to retire the 1-21-1, it's kind of fucking impressive.
Yeah.
It would be better than a 4-minute title squash against Sami Zayn or whoever is the WWE champion going into SummerSlam.
That I agree with.
Speaking of the WWE championship, what a new one.
We do.
I said this in the group chat. I watched Sami Zayn get the win, and I threw my phone across the car as I was driving to work. Because I don't know that I had another reaction other than, what?
Yeah. I mean, I was watching the show. Good, Sammy's knocked out on the outside. Cody gets knocked out on the outside. Gunther's choking him out. Cody fights back. Gunther got him again. Cody goes to drop the arm. Sammy blocks the arm. I'm like, oh, cool. We're working our way towards Cody must pose. Got it. And then like I started working on other things. I'm still have it on. I'm in the room, but I'm just looking at my phone. I'm working on the computer. And I hear the bell ring. And I was like, is that fucking Sami Zayn's music? And like I just looked up. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? I love it. I love that Sami Zayn's WWE champion. Like, if you would have gone back 5-10 years, you don't believe that. You're not buying that Sami Zayn is winning the belt that fucking Roman's been draping around his neck for 8 years. Like, you know, you want to make the argument that Sami probably should have won it when he was an honorary Uce. Like, okay, cool. But like, guess what? He did win it. Like, remember how it was cool that like Mick Foley always got to be called a WWE champion? Sami Zayn gets to do that now. Like, no matter what, you can't take that away from him. No matter what else happens.
Grand Slam champion, Sami Zayn.
Right. Like, that's badass. So, like, he's going to be a short-term champion. He may lose it back to Cody. He may lose it to Gunther in the same triple threat because WWE likes to go back. Let's run it back again. They do. Every company does.
Spoiler alert.
But like, Sami Zayn gets to probably walk into SummerSlam as WWE champion. That's pretty fucking cool.
You got a Lee Corso soundbite on that one or no?
I don't. That's on the other one.
Yeah, not so fast, my friend. On the walking into SummerSlam as the world champion,
potentially. You know, I think there's probably a lot of people just assume like this is Cody Rhodes' title to win. What I think would be really cool is there's a guy who Michael Cole mentioned his name in a real quick passing after Sammy won the title. And is like, I bet Sammy's longtime friend Kevin Owens is watching this. Like, remember the night of Kevin Owens' debut?
Yeah.
You know who won the main event of that show?
That would be Sami Zayn winning the NXT title.
Yeah. Do you remember what happened after that match with Sami Zayn's longtime friend Kevin Owens?
Yeah, broken nose Kevin Owens powerbombed him on the ring apron.
That's the one. Like, if Kevin Owens is healthy, and I get that's a big if right now, you want to talk about running things back or match opportunities or biggest matches on the biggest shows, which has been a theme. All of these things have been themes throughout the night. I got a SummerSlam match for you. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn for the WWE title. You're welcome. Again, if Kevin's healthy.
What I'll say is, and because SmackDown tomorrow night has been pre-taped, Sami Zayn's first title defense has already been determined.
Okay.
It'll take place against the winner of a Cody Rhodes v. Jey Uso match Monday night on Raw.
Yeet.
For those of you who care about spoilers and are going to listen to the show before SmackDown airs, wait about 5 seconds and start the podcast again. Cody Rhodes is going to be victorious in said match. Welcome back, friends. So if Cody is victorious, Cody Rhodes v. Sami Zayn Monday night. Cody Rhodes wins back the WWE Championship. And then a certain cult of personality makes his return because guess where Raw is on Monday night?
It's in Chicago.
Rosemont, Illinois. And their SummerSlam match is Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk for the WWE Championship.
Okay.
And now, in a card where you're trying to build up big matches, you now have Liv Morgan versus Io Sky. Stupid that the women's champion was involved in the women's Queen of the Ring, but that's another conversation for another day.
It is. The thing I will say is, if you present the idea that she's doing it to like just run the division, cool. Like,
it also doesn't help that you now have the is Rhea Ripley going to be cleared problem.
There is that, but like, just get out in front of it, like from the jump. Because again, we're talking about like mistakes they made from the jump. Like Obafemi should have never entered the tournament. If you wanted to like not have Liv win, but just like when they put her in, be like, why are you entering the tournament? You're a world champion. She's like, yeah, there's a second belt.
Yeah.
Like, you know what's better than one cheeseburger? 2 cheeseburgers.
Yeah, Libby 2 belts.
Like, you know what's tastier than 1 cold beer on a hot day? 2 cold beer on a hot day.
My song name is Trouble Trouble. I need 2 belts.
Right. Like if I am the women, like both women's world champ, every opportunity that
runs through me.
Right. The division runs through Liv Morgan. Present that idea up front.
Correct.
She doesn't have to win. You still can get to the same ending, but just get out in front of it and be like, because everybody's going, why? And the answer is obvious, but like, especially in a world where social media opinions get mad at WWE for both telling you the obvious but not telling you the obvious. They're like, why is the women's world champion in a tournament where she would fit? Because she wants both belts, dummy. That's why. Yeah. So like, I want her to tell me this. I want the bad heel chick to be like, I'm greedy. I want everything. I'm going to take this title. And then after I do that, maybe I go after the Intercontinental, or maybe I go after the US, or maybe I go back after the tag titles. I want all the gold. Duh.
Yummy. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Like we shouldn't have to spill it out. Like, that's the sad thing is, like, with wrestling fans, like, we shouldn't have to spill this out, but like, apparently we do. So like, hello, like,
dummy. Yeah. Dummy. Yeah.
Like,
so now back to what
you
now have 4 of potentially 12 to 13 matches set up by what I've said. CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar, Hell in a Cell, Liv Morgan versus Io Sky for the women's world title. If Rhea Ripley is cleared or isn't cleared, you probably have something involving her, Jade Cargill, maybe Charlotte Flair.
Probably.
Okay, cool. That's 5 matches right there. We haven't touched the U.S. title. We haven't touched the Intercontinental title. We haven't touched any of the women's mid-cards. We haven't touched the women's tag titles because you don't think that Nikki and Saraya aren't going to be on the second biggest show of the year?
Right.
They'll probably face Fatal Influence, Fallon Henley and Lainey Reed. Perfect shot for Nikki Bella to come back and potentially turn on Saraya and cost them the belts. But like, just with those 2 title matches that I've come up with in my head, Obafemi doesn't need to be in the world title picture right now with those 2 main events.
Right.
I think the most important thing for Obafemi is to end Brock Lesnar. And then coming out of that is where you see the picture of, okay, what's next for Oba? Is it he's just going to kind of be the ruler and the destroyer and beat up people? Or is he going to go put himself right into a title picture and maybe even be part of something for Survivor Series.
Right.
Maybe he wins a match and gets a shot at Roman at Survivor Series and loses to Roman. And then wins the Rumble, avenges his loss at WrestleMania 42, WrestleMania Saudi Arabia. It's not out of the equation. It's not what I would do, but it's not out of the equation from actually happening.
Right.
So that's my brain. Joe, do you have anything to add on?
No,
Trouble?
no. I don't think Sammy's gonna go into SummerSlam as a champion. I'm not holding my breath for that. I don't know if it's gonna be Cody. I don't know what, but I just don't think it's gonna be Sammy. Yeah. No, I guess I'm curious to see what the SummerSlam card ends up looking like. I know I'll end up watching it. I'm gonna try to catch up on all the other shows before that. Yeah.
I can't wait for Gunther versus Nick Aldis.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Nick Aldis got suspended after Night of Champions for putting his hands on Gunther and getting into a shoving match with him. So I'm going to assume that Nick Aldis is going to get his WWE match, and it's going to be against Gunther. So, I mean,
I like that.
I think it's going to be great. I think that's another match that you add to that. You've already got half of your card set up, and you haven't even really divulged into any of the mid card, like Chad Gable potentially winning the Intercontinental title.
There's that.
You're going to eventually do something with Danhausen, tag titles, maybe the return of Enzo and Cass built into that. There's also the talk of what if Owen wins the WWE title because Sammy gets blocked?
Well, there's that. Yeah. Yeah,
there are so many moving pieces that I'm not ready to wave the white flag on. Does it make sense? I think there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. Really glad that there's still 4 weeks of TV to get us there.
Yeah, and I mean, ultimately, if there's questions to be answered and things that need to be hashed out, that's the purpose of TV then. So, just watch the show.
Yeah, enjoy the ride, boys and girls.
Exactly.
Do we have anything else?
I don't believe.
No, I'm pretty good. I'm fading out.
We know whenever your microphone gets muted for an extended period of time that the fade out has begun.
Yeah.
Well, we went in hard too. I'll give Joe a little bit of a pass there, but wrestlers of the week, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm open up that spreadsheet because I still have that somewhere.
It's been a journey this year.
I dedicate my picks to you guys. You can divvy them up, and I bid you adieu.
Thank you, Joe. Good night, Joe.
All right, Joe.
Good night.
All right, so this is technically all right. I'll let you go first, bud.
I mean, Sami Zayn, your new WWE champion.
Not something you thought you'd type out.
Nope, absolutely not.
I will go with the new NXT Women's Champion. Give me Kendall Gray.
Great, yeah. New TNA World Champion, Nick Nemeth.
We got all the new champions. I will take the winner of the men's Owen Hart Cup. Give me the old Billy Goat himself. Give me Will Ospreay.
Okay. Let's see here. Winner of the King of the Ring, Obafemi.
All right. I will take with the last pick the winner of the women's Queen of the Ring. Give me Io Sky. All right, that is wrestlers of the week. We probably have like a whole month of stuff to vote on from like end of May, early June.
Probably.
But I don't think I gotta go look at the sheet because something doesn't look right. But I'll update it and send something in the chat. Probably early next week. So, Joe Movie Podcast, all one word. I don't know the last thing they updated. I haven't listened to any podcast really over the last
Dude,
so.
it's tough to it's tough to get do those things.
I'll tell you right now, my probably most recent, and I've been watching more video podcasts than anything else, was probably the Paul Heyman, Chris Van Vliet, his sit down with Heyman. And that went like 2 hours.
Okay.
And I watched that while I was playing video games.
Okay.
Because, after I hear the same audio for the 335th time playing MLB The Show, I don't need to hear them critique me for
I rarely listen to games. Like when college football comes out, I'll probably listen to the game audio a little bit for that. The next game that I'll actually listen to the game audio on any sort of a consistent basis is when Grand Theft Auto 6 finally comes out in November.
Mine will probably be about a week or probably a month before that. It'll be Black Ops 4.
Nice.
So, or Modern Warfare 4. Like, I'll listen to that when that comes out. Then obviously GTA when it comes out.
Yeah.
But yeah, sports games after like the first like month.
Yeah.
Most of the time my TV's on mute and I'm listening to something else.
Like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need to hear the same commentary catchphrases in a can.
Yeah, I don't need to hear Bug Shambi tell me, this guy's got 12 strikeouts on the day, and hitters can't seem to find a way to hit the curveball. Yeah, thanks, bud. Appreciate that. I've only swung at 37 of them. All right, plug some stuff.
Yeah, at Big Jim Sports on Twitter. For me, hit the link tree there. Has all my stuff. 3 Count. You had the live show tonight. Have a great Tuesday show coming out. Obviously on Tuesday. New episodes this week. We had 2 weeks of archived content. Huddle Up Podcast. The 2 guys you're listening to here just wrapped up the NHL season a couple of days ago. Yeah, biggest news of the week we didn't get to cover, but thank God the Big Cat's coming back to Washington for one more year at least. So that's exciting because we were a little scared about that one. Everything's there and I'm good.
You can follow me at the Call Me Burn. You can follow the show at Take3 Wrestling. Show next week, yes. Following week, probably not. Check out the social media for that because that'll be me flying home from Viva Rock Vegas.
Nice.
So follow along with us as we proceed our way towards the Summerfest. Until next week, for Joe and Jim, I'm Mike. We'll see you on the Take the Wrestling podcast.